Welcome to the Sana Project, where we take you well beyond our everyday skin clinic practices and give you insights to our philosophy. This collaborative podcast is hosted by our team and guest experts in various fields. So let us take you to Skinfinity and beyond, where we will be covering topics on skin, internal health, mind, soul, energy, life, and integrated practices. Our hope is to spark thoughts that resonate and serve you to make conscious choices to live your best life. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Sana Project. I've got AJ with me again, and we've fixed a couple of our sound difficulties. And what I really wanted to talk to you about today is, I guess we all kind of know, or at least have got a rough idea of what on a daily is good for us, the things that make us feel good, but often they are also the things that we tend to kind of put on the back foot of things because life gets in the way or whatever the reasons might be. So why the hell is it so difficult for us to stick to the things like exercise, diet, whatever we know actually in the long term will bring us some sort of benefit. In a short run, it might be uncomfortable. Why do we fall off the wagon, and what can we do about it?
Yeah. So I'm going to actually apply this to my own self because I think we all go through those times. And so I quickly did a scan of why do I slack off at certain times? And you're right, we have so much information, right? But I think that overload of information is also an issue.
Yeah.
Because if you've got an argument for one side, you've also got an argument for the other side.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, and then within that, so if they say, I'll say exercise, they'll say, if you do this type of exercise, it's really good for you and blah, blah, blah. And then what happens is that's also been magnified and gone into other layers. So it's not just weight training. It's if you do HIIT and if you do it at this time, if you do it before you eat. And it's like even that has many layers, right? So it's become so complicated. Simple things have become so complicated that before you start, it feels heavy.
Yeah.
Right? I was so drawn into this and I was sucked into this because when I was trying to go back into training and gym, I was downloading every single app like, oh, yeah, she's got the answer. Yes, it's going to be like, it's that one. And, the problem was I just needed to walk for half an hour, man. And I did not do that.
Yeah.
And all I did is consume information and mentally feel good about that. But then it was so overwhelming that I didn't commit.
Yeah, because I guess that's almost the flip side of it. Like, when you do let it slide a little bit, then it's almost that guilt and whatever that creeps. I was like, oh, shit, I didn't do it again.
But yeah, exactly. But it's because I think even with those kind of things, we have the shiny object effect, right? So this one looks better. That influencer that you follow is doing that one, or that coach online is showing you that, and they have a great body and that. But we forget that they started very simple. They started with just compounding very, very simple physical movements, and now they're at the end of the game, right? And they're doing those fancy movements and that, but that's not what led them there.
So you're saying don't set the bar too high?
I feel like don't complicate shit. You can set the bar high. You can have, like a thing of like wanting to be really, really fit. But I think it's like, again, saving money. Everybody wants to be rich overnight. But I promise you there's one solution. Just compound saving every single week.
It all adds up,
It all adds up, and that's more of a guaranteed way of getting results.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. It's like it's everything in life now due to the way we've been conditioned is like, you know, look here, this you can get this faster, you can have this now, and, you know, it looks better this way. And I think we're missing out on those fundamental principles, which is like, hey, do something that's very basic,
Yeah.
right? That you can actually do it anywhere. You don't need equipment. You don't need anything. You have access to walking pretty much anywhere. And just be consistent with that.
Yeah. Do you know what one of my things is that I sort of identify that always gets in the way is if I'm not actually prepared. And I mean with that is if I don't actually have proper time set aside for that, or let's say, you know, diet-wise, if I don't actually make an effort to go and buy those healthy things or have them there, then I'm more inclined, like, you know, like in between clients, I'm like, oh shit, I'm hungry. And I make like a Nutella toast or something.
100%.
You know?
100%. Yeah, that's another thing. Environment plays a big part.
Yep.
So you have to set up your environment for success. It's either set up for failure or it's either set up for success.
Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine, like, we are doing the podcast today and I had to come and we had to set this up before. There is no way. Because I'm like, this is confusing for me. Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Right? But because it was done, it was set up, everything was sorted, just like there's no obstacles.
Yeah.
Right? There's no obstacles. And especially when you're starting to create a new habit, something that already challenges you, you want to actually take away all the little obstacles in the way. In the same breath, if you want to break a habit to support the new habit that you want, make as many obstacles that you can to sort of do that, right? So again, not having shitty food in your cupboard is going to be an obstacle. Like, you know, Uber's made it a bit shit in that way because, you know, like now I think about it, I'm like, if you don't have ice cream, you're not going to be able to eat ice cream. But now, you know, people Uber. But I've done it. That's why I know. Like, man. So it's sort of like, listen, like for a smoker, for example, like if they're trying to be healthy and they want to break the habit of smoking, so then, you know, tell them to put their pack of cigarette in the car glove box when they go to bed, like, you know, before they come in the house, so that in order to do that, they've got to go. And it's just adding some sort of obstacle.
Yeah.
And
I guess we even do that with, like, you know, some clients would come into the skin clinic and they come and it's actually amazing. Like, some people come in, like, their routine is insane. They would have like 20 products that they're using like day and night and here and there. And but then when I asked them, like, do you actually do that? They go, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So taking it back to basics, like it would start like cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. Can you commit to that? Yeah, I think so. I was like, okay, put it right next to your toothbrush, something that you do every day anyway, and make that work with what you're already doing. Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's very true. And I also think another thing that plays a part in this is your values.
Yeah.
Right. So you will commit to your values.
That's so true.
So if skincare or self-care isn't a priority, right, it's not going to be a part of your daily routine.
Yep.
Right? If sitting around watching Netflix is a part of your values, you're going to find a time to do it. You're going to sit on the toilet and do it.
Yeah. And you kind of have to just, like, I found, I read this book, what was it, The 5-Second Rule or something? And that was actually really cool because, you know, when you're kind of, let's say, you know, at the moment it's bloody freezing in the morning when you have to get up. It's like, oh shit, should I really go to the gym? The bed is so nice and warm and comfortable. But kind of like you've got these two voices in your head, like, just stay and sleep. No, really get up and do it. But like, so I kind of do like a countdown back from 5 and then at 0, I literally just get up and do it. And once you're up, it's so much easier to then really keep moving.
Man, I have done some crazy shit with that. Okay, so I've done this whole thing of like, I don't want to go. It happened a couple of days ago.
Yep.
About going to the gym. I don't want to go. But I was like, no, I'm doing this new thing. I'm fucking going to go. I got ready, got in the car, drove to the gym and drove back.
You did not.
I swear to God I did. I don't know what part of me goes, as long as you go to the fucking car park, it felt good. And I drove right home, and Rhea was like, what are you doing? I go, I don't know, I just went to the car park and drove back. So I don't know where I am with that, because I'm like, the 5-second thing made me get up, put clothes on, drive. You'd think by now I'm ready.
You should have had another countdown from the car park to actually get out of the bloody car.
Maybe I need a few 5-second frigging countdowns. So I was like, how the fuck do I fix this now? Because I literally went there, went through the obstacles, and then decided I'll just drive back home.
Fuck, okay. Yeah, that takes it to another level. But you know what? That just shows, like, sometimes.
I'm getting there.
You already made it to the car park.
I went to the car park, next stage door.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is we all kind of do it. We know what's good for us.
Yeah.
We know that, what are they, short-term pain, long-term gain?
Yeah,
What's that
yeah,
saying?
yeah, absolutely.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, listen, I'm not like that in every aspect of my life, right? So sometimes what happens is you've got your home life that needs more attention and energy and awareness, right? And your presence. And so something does dip, right? Or like I'm setting up this new business and I'm working like a lot from there, right?
Yeah.
Zarava's on school holidays, so I've got, him at home. And so you got to also look at it. It's like, is it a behavior? Is it my nature? Right? And so give yourself grace with that too, because I know I'm not lazy in other areas.
Yeah.
I know that I'm actually doing this and that and this and that.
So it just means that right now that's probably not your main priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what I feel is that when you know you're dipping in something, try not sabotage it even more.
Yeah.
So I could maybe, a good way of doing it is because I know I'm so on the ball with the other stuff that maybe, okay, gym it's sort of like a bit of a thing, but then maybe I just watch my food a bit more.
Yeah.
Right? So because you want to you still want to encourage yourself to do the right thing, but maybe it's just a few other ways to sort of help support you. You're not there yet, but don't be harsh on yourself, because I also don't want to live rigid. I don't want to have this mentality, because I already know that I'm doing good work somewhere else. I'm doing all that other stuff, right?
And sometimes it's a flow-on effect as well, though. Like, let's say you do start exercising, you actually naturally feel like you want to eat healthier as well.
Absolutely.
So I know, like, when I first started doing my daily meditations that you told me to do, like, oh my God, just trying to be quiet, it was driving me insane. But then I just felt so good after. And from there on, it kind of fell onto like, okay, so you know what? I actually feel like I want to be outside a little bit more. So I started the walking again. And it kind of really sort of, But then the problem is, like, if something comes up, school holidays, being sick or something like that, and it resets you again. And you have to sort of find that motivation again.
And I think that is healthy though. It keeps us feeling alive.
Yeah.
I don't believe you should live like a robot.
No.
Right? So I do reckon like those are important things too. So give yourself that grace, allow a little bit of mess in your life. It's fucking healthy.
Yeah.
And just make sure that, hey, these areas of my life, I'm really fucking solid. I've got a great habit. I've got a great pattern.
Yeah.
I don't need motivation here. I'm actually quite good. All right, this is running itself. Let me encourage this area, right? And give yourself that grace. Like, be okay with it, because you know how much you're putting in other areas. So I think that would be my solution to why people sort of don't do it, but also how to encourage yourself to sort of, start new things and that. Just keep it simple, basic, give yourself grace, set your environment up for obstacles and support.
Yeah.
And take it from there.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if you had any advice, but that was just perfect. So if there's anything you're kind of thinking of doing, take that on board, and maybe tomorrow morning, start simple, start somewhere, and all right, we'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this episode, share it with your friends and get involved in our socials to help shape the topics on this podcast. We'd love to meet you. You can simply book from our webpage or reach out. We are here to help.